The revolt against surveillance has gained enormous support from internet users and was backed by Edward Snowden himself. To discuss the future of whistleblowing and how you can protect yourself from web snooping, I'm now joined by Kristinn Hrafnsson, an Icelandic investigative journalist and a spokesperson for Wikileaks. Mr. Hrafnsson, thank you so much for joining us here in RT International. Well, in one of his first interviews, Edward Snowden said that his biggest fear was that nothing would change after his revelations. Now, 1 year on, was his fear justified? What has changed? And do you think U.S. might manage to sweep the scandal under the carpet?
No, definitely not. And Edward Snowden need not be afraid that nothing has changed, because everything has changed. And it has been changing for a few years after Wikileaks paved the way with massive leaks, and then came Snowden. We see a rapidly changing world with massive leaks and whistleblowers reporting on wrongdoing and producing material to support the revelations. We are seeing big changes, and it takes a little time to seep in.
Well, you know, judging by what you just said, of course, Edward Snowden's revelations sort of set off a chain reaction of events and things here. But, you know, how realistic is this effort, you know, coming from, you know, public initiatives, coming from organizations such as Rise the Net, for example, you know, all other anti-spy campaigns there? How realistic and effective is their effort in fighting the government spying?
The fight will be hard and it will take time. And of course, the first step is to get the general public to realize how serious the situation is. And the key role there, of course, will be the mass media, who has been rather slow in you know, reporting to the public how serious the situation is. I have sort of a feeling that the general public are you know, almost turning a blind eye to this, because this is such a big and serious blow to the privacy of every individual in the world. It is almost like a major trauma to the body, where the brain just shuts down the pain because it's too big. But slowly and gradually we're seeing people waking up to this new reality. Earlier on, it was mentioned on your show that the public in the United States are growing in their support and understanding that Edward Snowden is a true hero, a patriot, and did the right thing, even though, of course, the elite in Washington is still calling him a traitor and trying to persecute him, which is absurd. But, I mean, the general public do have tools to bypass the NSA snooping, and there will be a growing concern, of course, of every individual.
Well, you know, speaking of which, sorry for interrupting you, just want to briefly ask you a question and get a brief answer from you. You said the general public has the tools, but, you know, governments nonetheless go all out to catch and prosecute whistleblowers. And, you know, can supposedly secure sites such as exposefacts.org really protect those trying to expose government wrongdoing?
Well, we try our best, for example, at Wikileaks to protect our sources, and we have a pretty good track record there. I mean, none of our sources have been exposed due to anything that we have done. So there are ways and means. But let me just mention that the general public also has to put pressure on the large corporations that have been complicit in these major and serious crimes against people's privacy all over the world.
All right, Kristinn Hrafnsson, Icelandic investigative journalist and spokesperson for Wikileaks. Thank you so much for talking to us here in RT International.